Thank you for joining us in this short tutorial on applying for the Egyptian Ph.D. Dissertation Research Fellowship. This is the second year for this program. The addition of Egyptian dissertation fellows to the existing cohort of American fellows greatly enhances and enriches the fellowship program and gives scholars from both countries more opportunities for networking, collaboration, and sharing of knowledge and experience. If you are considering applying, remember that the deadline is August 28th at 11:59 p.m. Cairo time. All your materials must be submitted through the online application process. It is a straightforward process we have been using for 3 years, and hopefully you will not have any problems. So let's get started. You must be an Egyptian citizen attending an Egyptian national university. If you are attending a private Egyptian or foreign university, you will not be able to apply at this time. It is preferred that you have already received approval for your dissertation topic from your advisor. This would mean you are far enough along in the process to make the most of the fellowship. RC fellowships focus on the humanities and humanistic social sciences. These include, but are not limited to, archaeology, archaeobotany, museum and cultural heritage studies, classics, anthropology, architecture, art history, philology, epigraphy, ethnomusicology, historical geography, language, Arabic and comparative literature, and religion. It does not include the hard sciences like biology, physics, engineering, chemistry, medicine, astronomy, zoology, etc. If you are a research scientist, this is not the right opportunity for you. Your topic may take place in any period of Egyptian history, prehistory to present day. It's possible that you may be working on your degree while working. If this is the case, you are still eligible, but you must address that in your proposal and take that into consideration when preparing your research objectives. The fellowship is for 1 year, beginning on or about October 1st through September 30th, 2023. You will need to convince the selection committee of your ability to conduct and succeed in your research while you are employed part or full-time. The selection committee will be comprised predominantly of Egyptian scholars and may include 1 or 2 foreign scholars who have conducted research in Egypt multiple times and are familiar with the research environment. As a fellow, you will work independently at your own pace and be expected to meet with someone on the RC staff once a month to update them on your progress. Additionally, you will be expected to attend the monthly fellows meeting when all the fellows get together to discuss their research and share their experiences. During the 22-23 academic year, you will join a cohort of other Egyptian and American scholars. It's going to be an exciting and dynamic environment for networking and relationship building as we get back to meeting in person again. Application components and steps. The online application process is straightforward. These are the components of the application and the process. A completed online application form, a 1,500-word research proposal written in English, a bibliography, 1 to 2 pages listing the primary and secondary sources, a document certifying your current enrollment in a PhD program at an Egyptian national university. This may be in Arabic or in English, a resume or CV in English, 2 recommendation letters from Egyptian and/or foreign scholars who are familiar with your research. 1 must be your dissertation advisor. These letters may be written in English or Arabic. You will need to register at orcfellowships.smapply.org. If you haven't already applied for an RC fellowship opportunity in the past or one of our workshops, you will need to create an account. It will assess your eligibility by asking if you are enrolled in a PhD program. The correct answer is yes. Once you answer that, it will show you which programs you are eligible for. This is a shared platform with other institutions in the region, so you are looking for the opportunity called Egyptian Ph.D. Dissertation Research Fellowship. Nothing else is open to you. It is possible that this will be the very last opportunity on the last page. These are the components of the application package. If at any point you get a message in a green box that says, "Whoops," hit that box, go back and follow it. It usually takes you to the page you need to be on. If you have repeated difficulties for any reason, write to fellows@rc.org or contact the help function in the program itself. Deadline for the submission is August 28, 2022. Remember to gather all your documentation, upload it, and complete all the steps before submitting the application. Your proposal will be assessed and compared to other applicants. Writing a well-written, proofread, organized proposal will be necessary. It is likely to be a highly competitive process. How can you increase your chances of being awarded a fellowship? Think carefully about how you organize the proposal. While it's not necessary to break it down into sections, some applicants do take this approach. Here are some examples of headings successful applicants have used to help guide the reviewers through their proposal. Introduction, project description, methods and contribution, research plan and preparation. Scholarly significance and contribution, preliminary research and qualifications, research feasibility and final format. Introduction, research question, significance and implications, methodologies, qualifications and scholarly background. Nature of proposal, methodology, background, contributions and conclusion. A few others include introduction to dissertation research, previous scholarship, methodology, timeline for research. Another, overview, the project and significance to the field, background, research completed and yet to be completed, timeline of research and chapter outline. And finally, nature of proposal, methodology, background, contributions and conclusion. You can see the common thread throughout all these approaches to organizing the proposal. Be sure to set realistic goals for what can be accomplished during the year-long fellowship, particularly if you are not working on it full-time. It is better to be realistic about this, as the reviewers all have experience conducting research and advising students in Egypt, and they know the research environment and its challenges. Be realistic. Be sure to set your objectives within the larger scope of the dissertation project. If you are in the gathering research stage or in the chapter writing stage, be sure that is clear in the proposal. You may reference the places you intend to conduct your research and indicate whether you will be seeking clearances to access the documents or objects you need in places such as the Egyptian Museum or Dar al-Wathaq, or whether your research will take place in Bibliotheca Alexandrina or Dar al-Kutub, where obtaining permission and clearance is less of a requirement and takes less time. Be sure to check your English and have someone proofread for grammar and typing errors. How you present yourself does matter. Even if English is your second or third language, you want to present yourself and your ideas as professionally as possible to demonstrate you are capable and qualified to receive a research fellowship. Criteria for assessing research proposals. What scholarly and original contribution will the project make to the applicant's field? Is the project feasible? Is the methodology correct? Is the project well organized and structured, or should further work be done on the research design before funding is given? Can the data be reasonably collected or otherwise assembled in 1 year? Does the applicant display the ability to follow through on research to the written and publishable phase and to follow through on research proposals? What other relevant information would you like to see shared about the applicant and his or her research? By this point in your doctorate, you will have read many sources and should be familiar with the literature on your topic. This is what should be included on the bibliography. Make sure it doesn't just look like a reading list or something copied from the back of someone else's dissertation. Make sure you are familiar with the Egyptian and regional scholars who write on your topic, as well as the foreign ones. Limit your CV or resume to 2 pages, highlighting the education and other experiences most relevant to your research. If you worked at Vodafone for a few years, by all means list it as your employment, but if it isn't relevant to a degree in history or Egyptology or cultural heritage studies, don't give it too much attention. Instead, focus on your academic experience or employment. Any publications you may have in journals, edited volumes, university publications, professional publications, conferences you organized or sessions you co-facilitated, papers you presented at conferences, etc. If your CV ends up being shorter than 2 pages, it's okay, but be sure that you have included everything that shows the reviewers what you have done and what you are capable of doing in the academic environment, from writing to organizing to sharing your research with others. You do not need to include all your training certificates. If you decide to submit some, please only submit the most important and relevant. Reference letters. Reference letters are one of the most important components of your application. They tell the reviewers a lot about you from the point of view of those who you think know you and your research the best. Make sure to select 2 people who understand your research and support you as a scholar. People who believe in you and can express that. On the application, when you provide the names and email addresses of your referrers, the system will automatically send out an email to them, letting them know you have asked for a reference. It may come from ORC fellowships at CAORC.org, not RC, so don't let them delete it. They will be asked to create an account to upload their reference letter. They will be given instructions on what to include in the reference letter. They should not share that letter with you or ask you to upload it for them. If possible, it should be written on letterhead from the university and saved in PDF. If it's in Arabic, it should be saved also as a PDF. If anyone has any trouble, please have them write to fellows@rc.org, and we will work with them to be sure their letter is uploaded into the system. Follow up with them. That is your responsibility. RC will not follow up with them. If we do not receive 2 references, your application will not be reviewed. Be sure to inform them that you have given RC their name as a reference. Send them a copy or draft of your proposal so they know what to write. Encourage them to write something that addresses the research, its importance, and your capacity to conduct the research and achieve the objectives you have described during the 1-year fellowship. It's not enough for them to say you're a good student and deserve a fellowship. They must explain why. This is not a character reference. This is an academic reference focused on your capabilities as a scholar, not as a human being. That doesn't mean they can't say you were reliable or honest or a great community builder. They can, but they also have to address your scholarship and proposal. Many times, reference letters are important for what they don't say. When the referrer only talks about the applicant and never talks about the research project, then it is clear they are not familiar with the research, and that's not good for the applicant. Be sure to select 2 people who you are confident will support your application. One must be your advisor. The other one may be a professor or someone else familiar with your research. What happens after I submit my application? During September, the selection committee will review the applications and prepare a short list of candidates and then interview them. Should you be placed on the short list, you will be called for an interview, possibly virtual, during the latter half of September. Whether you are selected for the shortlist or not, you will receive an email from RC before the end of September informing you of your status. Remember, applications are due August 28, 2022. RC hopes this information will help you to submit a winning proposal, and we look forward to receiving your application.